Hey y'all, it's your girl Destiny, and we're back with another video. Before we get into it, y'all, please ignore my hair. This is yesterday's curls, yesterday's mess, and today is Sunday, and I just didn't feel like doing all of that. But I'm still here to give y'all some content. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about how we can get started in our self-growth journeys. And I know that it can be hard, figuring out where to start. You know what I'm saying? We all want to grow, we all want to get better, but like, where do we start? What things do we need to focus on in order to do that? So the first thing that you should be doing when you're, trying to start out your self-growth journey is developing self-awareness. And it's very important to develop this because there's no growth, there's no learning or anything like that without having that self-awareness. You got to figure out what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. A really good way for us to, get into self-awareness is to start journaling. And I know that's kind of cliche, but like, it really works. And if writing is not your thing, you can even do like voice journaling, which is something that I actually did in the past, and it helped me so much, because at the time I just didn't feel like writing, but I had a lot on my mind, but I needed a way to let it out. By doing this, you can become aware of how you think. You can become aware of your emotions. You can become aware of the places where you need to work on the most. It's also important to reflect on decisions that you may have made in the past that maybe didn't, result the way that you thought it would. You need to reflect on the way you handle your emotions in certain situations. You need to just reflect and learn how to take accountability. After you become aware, you can take accountability for some of these things that you need to work on. The second thing that I would say you should focus on in your personal development journey would have to be shifting your mindset. After you become aware of what your strengths and your weaknesses are, it's time for you to get into that growth mindset. Like, okay, these are what my weaknesses are, but I can improve that. This is how I handle my emotions in the past. And, I can get better at the way I handle my emotions. This is where you kind of got to get into that, like, believing in yourself and changing that mindset. You also have to shift your mindset in terms of giving yourself grace in certain situations. So being more compassionate with yourself and, making sure that you're not getting down on yourself about anything. So that way you can stay positive and you can continue having that growth mindset no matter the outcome of any situation that you encounter. And one more thing that I feel like is really important about the mind shift is that you need to learn how to build resilience. Because as you go through this self-growth journey, there are going to be so many things that you learn about yourself, good and bad, beautiful and ugly. And you have to be able to have that resilience to work through that stuff, because the self-growth journey is not going to be easy. It's going to take real work. And you have to have that resilience to be able to get through it and to actually, have the persistence to get better and grow out of your old habits and your old thinking patterns and all that kind of stuff, which is not going to be easy. You don't want to just give up and say, oh, well, whatever, this is just how I am, when you know that that's not how you want to be. And the third thing that I feel like you should focus on is going to be emotional intelligence. And before I get into that, I want to mention that I think that I'm going to break this video up into two parts, because this is like self-growth is about a holistic approach. It's about everything encompassing who you are. So there are so many different areas of life in which you can focus on, so many different areas of yourself and self-growth that we can get into. So I think I want to like split it up into two parts, because there's just so many and so much that I would like to cover. So now back to emotional intelligence. When it comes to emotional intelligence, this is about having compassion for other people as well as yourself and setting healthy boundaries between that. You have to learn how to deal with your own emotions and not find yourself responsible for other people's emotions. You're only responsible for your emotions. That's the only thing that you can control. And so when you gain emotional intelligence, you learn how to forgive people more, how to just brush stuff off, how to not let things get to you, how to not let negative things ruin your whole entire day. Like, once you get that emotional intelligence, you learn how to deal with yourself and others better emotionally. And that's going to be so big in your personal development journey or your self-growth journey, because the relationships and the people that we have around us, the boundaries that we set, play a big part in whether or not we're going to be able to grow and whether or not we're going to be able to stick to the new versions of ourselves that we want to be. The fourth thing that you can focus on is, I would say, goal setting. We all know that goal setting is so important, that is so essential to self-growth. Honestly, in this self-growth journey, most of what you're going to be doing is setting goals and trying to reach those goals. With every area that you are going to be working on, you're going to be setting a kind of goal. Like, oh, when it comes to emotional intelligence, you're probably going to say, oh, I want to get to a point where I don't let one negative thing ruin the rest of my day. So then when something bad happens, maybe like in the morning, you don't let that ruin the rest of your day, and you shift that mindset into like, I can still have a really great day. That can be a goal that you set. Or if we're talking about the mindset shift and we talk about, having resilience, and maybe you want to get through something and you know it's going to take a long time, but you want to set the goal to finish that and not do anything until you finish that thing. And that's building your persistence. But that's also a goal that you're setting, which is to finish that thing without doing anything else, because you're showing yourself that you can do it. Even with the self-awareness, let's say you want to journal at least 3 times a week, because I'm not even going to say every day, because I don't feel like that's realistic, because when I first started, I couldn't even journal every single day. It's just a lot. Granted, some of you may be able to do that, and kudos to you. But I know for me, I wouldn't even set myself up like that. And the thing about your goals is that you want your goals to be realistic, and to a certain extent, you know what you're capable of. Granted, you can be capable of more, but you don't want to set a goal that's too high, too early, and not get to it and then feel a way about it. And while you're figuring out what your goals are, you also want to figure out your why for these goals. You don't want to be setting goals that you have no emotional connection to. You don't want to be setting goals based on the wrong reasons. You want to make sure that you have good reasons as to why you want to set this goal and achieve it in the first place. Otherwise, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to achieve it. Okay, so now the 5th thing that you can focus on during your self-growth journey is skill development. Now, of course, as we grow, we want to learn new skills. We want to get better at things. And I feel like you can figure out, like I said before, you start with self-awareness, and that is like literally the perfect way to start, because now you've already analyzed what your strengths and your weaknesses are. So if you have some skills that you want to improve after you figured out what your weaknesses are, then you can set that as a goal and improve in that skill. Or if you found that you have some great strengths and you have skills that you want to strengthen, that you want to make even stronger, then that's good too to set some goals for. And some great skills that are going to help you throughout your entire self-growth journey are problem-solving skills, time management skills, communication skills, and productivity. And I say that because as you go through this self-growth journey, you are going to have to find the time to become this new version of yourself, to pick up the new habits, to work on yourself. You're going to have to commit time to it. And you need them time management skills. You need to be able to be productive so that you can actually get things done. You need to be able to communicate effectively so that you can set certain boundaries so that you can get things done. So when you get into your skill development, you really want to focus on those 4 skills, maybe to start with, and then get into some of those skills that you want to strengthen now that you've figured out what your strengths and your weaknesses are. And number 6, this is going to be the last one that I do in this part, because like I said, I'm going to do a part 2 to this. Number 6 is going to be the last thing that I talk about in this video, just because I want to make sure that, I'm not, putting too much information into one video, so that you can actually grasp the information instead of me just throwing a bunch of information at you, and you know what I'm saying, now it's just overwhelming and it's too much. So number 6 is going to be habits and self-discipline. And if you haven't already, you can check out my video about 3 books that helped me boost my productivity and my planning, because I talk about 2 books, which is Badass Habits by Jen Sincero, and I talk about No Excuses, The Power of Self-Discipline. And these are 2 books that could really help you get into forming better habits and developing a strong sense of self-discipline. Getting rid of toxic habits is going to be one of the biggest parts of the self-growth journey, I would say, because when we want to grow, the best thing you can do is take some weight off your shoulders and let go of all of those things that are holding you back, which tend to be our toxic habits, from negative thought patterns all the way to procrastination. And these habits and forming better habits and self-discipline, along with what I said before, which was your productivity and time management skills, this will really help you formulate a work-life balance, because we all go to work, we all got bills to pay. And so when you jump into this self-growth journey, it's almost like you're picking up another job, because this is also work to do. Now, I'm not calling it a job to work on yourself. I'm just saying it is going to take a lot of energy and effort for you to work on yourself and to grow. So you got your self-growth journey, which you're committing to, and you're committing to doing these things that will help you grow. You have work that you have to do for your professional life, but then you also still need to make time for fun, and everything doesn't have to be about growth, and everything doesn't have to be about work. You still have to find time for fun and friends and family and love and all of those good things. And that's all a part of having a healthy self-growth journey. Like I always say, if you guys have any like areas that I miss, just go ahead and let me know down in the comments. If you have anything that you want me to get into, just, let me know down in the comments. I am only one person, so these are things that I worked on during my self-growth journey. So yeah, the more the merrier. All comments are welcome. All right, y'all, that is all I have for you in today's video. I will be doing a part 2, so be on the lookout for that. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.